Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate the invitation to come and speak with you today. As Jeremy said, I'm going to be portraying today Miss Alice Robertson, one of my favorite women in Oklahoma history. She truly was a remarkable person. I've been fortunate to have the opportunity to study her life and to represent her in a lot of different capacities. As Jeremy told you, I am a writer of history. I do a weekly column for the Muskogee Phoenix newspaper. I've written 3 books. My latest book is a novel. It's based, though, in Oklahoma history. It's about the first school teacher to teach in Indian Territory. But today I'm going to be Miss Alice Robertson. Towards the end of my life, I received an invitation to attend the statue dedication of the pioneer woman in Ponca City. If you're familiar with that story, E.W. Marlin, the governor, had commissioned a statue to be developed to honor his mother, whom he believed was a great pioneer woman, and he wanted it to be a competition because he wanted to get the best of the best. So 12 finalists created small statues, and those small statues of their idea of the pioneer women toured the country, and Americans were given the opportunity to vote on which they felt best represented the true pioneer woman of America. Now, I've seen those statues, and some of them portray the woman having a babe in one arm, a rifle in the other arm, their dead husband lying at their feet with an arrow stuck out of his chest. That was their idea of the pioneer woman. But the one who won is a statue of a woman striding forward confidently, a child leading a child by the hand, with a book in her arms. She was either going to church or to school. She was taming the American West, and I truly believe it was not the gun that tamed the American West, it was the book. For women brought with them the book. They brought the Bible, they established churches, they started schools, they opened libraries, and that is truly what the pioneer woman brought to the American frontier and how the American West was settled. And that's a little bit of my story, and I think that's probably why I received that invitation to attend the Pioneer Women dedication. My good friend Will Rogers was the guest speaker for that occasion. But I have jumped way ahead of myself. Let me begin at the beginning. I am, of course, a missionary, the daughter of missionaries, the granddaughter of missionaries. My grandparents, Samuel and Ann Wooster, actually spent their honeymoon in a wagon traveling down from New England to a mission in Newachota, Georgia, where they would work among the Cherokees for a number of years. My grandfather, at his own expense, created a typeset for the new Cherokee syllabary that Sequoyah had invented, and he began to teach the Cherokees to read. But this upset a great number of leaders in the Georgia establishment. They wanted the land of the Cherokees, and they didn't want them to be educated, and so they passed a law making it illegal to educate Indians. And my father ignored the law, grandfather, and continued to teach the Cherokees, and so he was arrested and placed in jail. He took his case all the way to the Supreme Court and was exonerated. But once he was released from prison, the Georgia leaders told him he needed to leave. So my grandfather, Samuel Wooster, traveled with the Cherokees along the Trail of Tears from Georgia to Indian Territory. My mother, Ann Eliza Wooster, was about 9 years old at the time that they made that trip out here to Indian Territory. They reestablished their mission at Park Hill, and that's where my mother grew up, and she decided to be a teacher herself. The Woosters very much believed in education, even for women, which was rather unusual in those days.